Hi, Guido Fox here. Welcome by a new book report. Today I want to discuss with you this wonderful book, Karma and Devotion. Karma towards the path, the sacred path to God through the heart. Karma and Devotion. Wonderful title, right? Because everyone talks in the spirituality into the self-development world, talks about karma is a bitch, and we want into devotion is striving towards spiritual awakening. So if you're in devotion, devote people, devote followers of spiritual gurus or spiritual teachers, in the essence, you want to become enlightened. First, I want to talk with you about more devotion, striving, being dedicated towards the path of God through the heart, dedicated towards enlightenment, dedicated towards spiritual awakening, dedicated towards chakra awakenings, and dedicated towards religious growth, right? Actually, is spiritual awakening nothing more than religious growth, striving towards a better person, striving towards a better working nervous system. I want to talk later about that, about the inner work, about the energy work, and how that is related towards religious growth, right? And we all want to striving towards a higher being, a better version from yourself, becoming the best, becoming the better version of yourself. That's an important thing to remember. The constantly personal grow makes you a better person and also stay more high energetic, right? If you're constantly wants to improve yourself, then you also become an happier person. Because if you're staying stuck uh, in your life, your energy is also staying stuck. And energy has to stream, energy has to flow. And if you're flowing in your life, you also become a happier person. It's like the gym. If you're not going to the gym or you're not training anymore, your bloodstream is not flowing anymore, it's not streaming anymore. And if your bloodstream is not streaming anymore, you have a big chance to fall into depression, and you create darkness in your life. So the same with religious grow, with spiritual grow, it has to stream, it has to flow. You have to stay meditating. You have to do things every day to reach the bliss state. Page 20 and page 161, the trance state. Religious grow is ultimately coming in the bliss state, the trance state, and that's a very powerful state you can reach in your religious grow, where everything falls in place and you're so centered and you're so peaceful and you only want to share your ecstaticness, your inner ecstaticness towards the world in your surroundings, and everything in your surroundings become very peaceful and calm. So religious grow is ultimately reaching the bliss state, the trance state, the higher state in life. And no drugs is needed. All those people here in Amsterdam going into the coffee shops or becoming an alcoholic, it's not needed. It's not needed. Meditation is enough. Meditation is enough. Hours and hours per day, 1 or 2 hours to reach trance states, bliss states, and finding a spiritual teacher or already have higher consciousness levels is already in higher dimensional realities. That person, search for that person, and the energy transmission between that person and his followers could be made, right? You need someone who meditates for years and years to actually to steal his knowledge and steal his energy to grow rapidly, to accelerate in life, to accelerate your religious growth, to also the guy seeing your weak spots, to work on your weak spots, to work on your blockades, to really, really grow in life and experience the trance states, experience the bliss states, the end stage in life, and that's ultra powerful. The intentional doing phase is short and intense, could be powerful and very active, but you cannot hold that extreme active state for long term when you're a little bit out of mind. We're not here anymore, that you're so active with your activity that you're losing control about time and space. But you want to prolong that state, and that's only happening when you are inside, when you're with your mind inside. Whatever you do, you can prolong that state of intentional doingness when you're fully focused on one task. Maybe you had that in your life. You're able to hold that state for a long time if you are aware, and if you are aware with your inner being. Page 23. Only people who are interested in spiritual growth, who are interested in enlightened, become enlightened. You have to be interested in spiritual growth, in enlightenment. If you're not interested in enlightened, you're not becoming that. If you're not interested in what I say, banking products, you're not becoming a top banker. If you're not interested in reaching bliss and trance states, you're not becoming that. So it all starts with the mind, the will of the mind. It's a very powerful mechanism. If you want to reach something, if you want to have a good body, you have to go to the gym. You have to visionary about your body structure. If you want to have big shoulders, you have to train your shoulders. And you have to really want to have big shoulders. So that's the same with spiritual growth and spiritual awakening. You have to become interested in enlightenment, into karma, into devotion, into how the mind is working. Then things will possible. And of course, it's coming on your path, right? By me, it was first the sexual seducing development, And if you reach a state of abundancy and you had so many variety, so many sexual activity as a man, very important. If you see and analyze the lives of Buddha, Jesus, Osho, the guy from the Hindu world, I don't remember his name anymore. Maybe later. But if you see all the spiritual leaders in the world, all the people become to trance and bliss states had an abundance in sexual variety. I talk as a man here. Long-term sexual activity, short-term sexual activity with one partner into the deep sexual attachments and the bunch of variety. Krishna is the name. So Krishna, Buddha, Osho, Jesus, Buddha with his 400 women harem. If you see all the lives of people became enlightened, there is a sexual fulfillment there. So if you as a man not reach sexual abundancy, then you're probably not thinking about enlightenment because you're hickering towards the sex. And mostly before that, you want to be rich. You want to become rich because then you think, then the girls are coming to me. Because if I'm rich, I have status. And if I have status, I get the girls. So before the sexual hickering, the financial hickering is there mostly. By guys. Women, other story to become enlightenment. Mostly they have to search for long-term sexual fulfillment, and it's hard because most men are not able to have long-term penetration skill sets, and the women has to search mostly for a spiritual guru to set up the energy transmission. And have to search for a nice stable guy, long-term relationship where you go deeper towards each other and raise up children following your natural body desires. But for the man, it's mostly the step into financial success and then sexual success. And if you reach the state of abundance with women, all your desires has to be dissolved. And for 90% of the guys, maybe 99%, they're still in their that bad from I had the urge. Why I didn't broke up this relationship and fuck around. Why I didn't invest in a dating coach to become better with women and enjoy more the intimacy and the sexuality and feel the state of abundancy. Why I didn't do that when I was on the bed, when I lying to die. So if you analyze the lives of people who become enlightened, sexual abundancy is a main part of their lives. The suppression of the matrix is out, and you discover all the high sexual peaks, the spikes, and then one spike is not yet fulfilled. That's the spiritual state, the trance state, the bliss state, the feeling of the ecstaticness of your chakras. So you reach other interests in life. You reach other phases in your life, and you become interested in enlightenment because you were really, really through that sexual state in your life. You change from the Homo sapien, the Homo erectus, a little bit denigrated word in spirituality, the Homo erectus, the Homo sapien, the humanity is still in the Homo erectus, the Homo sapien, just following your penis, just following your urges, just grabbing for money, easily going in violence when the sexual frustrations are there, what we see in the world, war, rumors, protests, violently in the streets, war, violence, very related towards sexual frustration. So sexual frustration, Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, we are not so far as humanity. High levels of stress, high levels of disappointments in life. And then we grow towards Homo Spiritus. So the Homo erectus, the Homo sapiens, and then the Homo Spiritus. So we grow. If you're growing into spirituality and you read the good material, the Oshos, the Hawkins, the Krishna, the Buddha, Osho. If you read the good material and not the Eckhart Tolles of this world, the simple books, the more deeper spiritual books, you going into a new adventure, and then your nervous system changes. You feel your inner awakenings, your blossomings, you feel the inner lines opening up, and you are become an Homo Spiritus. You're breaking the path of evolution. You're breaking the 1,000 years of evolution. People are not there. People are not there. If you're following me, you're breaking the evolutionary cycle of humanity. And Jesus and Osho and Buddha is breaking the evolutionary cycle of humanity because he is already there. He is already there by the Homo Spiritus. He has an inner, lovable, shining chakra line that he wants to share to the world. And then ultimately on page 960, you become in a Vod and Godhead. What does it mean by Vod and Godhead? Vod is the Trance-State, Vod is the Bliss state, and Godhead is that your head, the third eye, and the crown chakra is warm. So it is energy from your heart and your hands, the healing palm chakras, and the 3 hearts on a row, warm to your head. So the energy has to go upwards. The spiritual energy has to go upwards toward the head. So if you read in the spiritual literature Godhead, the godly head is meant the opening up the third eye and the crown chakra. Then you are arrived. Osho told that to us, then you're arrived. If you can hold and opening up is easy. You can feel at a certain moment your third eye and your crown chakra if you're focusing on that spots, right? But really feel the ecstaticness of the crown chakra and the third eye chakra. If you really feel the bliss there, that's another story. That's the most difficult thing on earth, to always be there by that chakra ecstaticness. The downside is you nearly cannot function anymore in the world. You have very difficulties to operate in groups, because the surroundings is still the 3D world, right? You're in 5D dimensional vibes. You're breaking the evolutionary path, but you cannot function in groups anymore because you're probably on 960 CL consciousness levels and the groups in your around you is only 100. So if you're in party with a group and you're surrounded in your office with other people, you're losing energy. Your energy field is 5 meters in your surroundings. The light field is shining. People staring at you. People like you or not. People want to be close to you. People staring at you all the time. Because you have the light field in your surroundings. You're an enlightened being. You cannot function in group anymore because your leakage, you're healing automatically. You feel the inner frustration of people. You know the motives of people, the mostly also dark motives of people. So you cannot really function into society. So you have to find tricks to avoid the leakages from your energetic system. So going in the gym, finding a peaceful spot to do your exercises, working alone in your own room. You need so much time to load up your battery. You can be on stage in a short period, but not too long. You have to really reload yourself because your leakages to the average 85% lower than 200 conscious level. 85% of world population is under 200 conscious level. Never go in personal development. Never striving in life. Always in dark energies. Stay out of there. So that means that if you have, let's say, 100 friends, you have to say goodbye to 85 friends, so-called friends, to move further in life and to stay energized and to not losing your energy. So enlightenment means also the power to say goodbye to people who are not fit in your life or not fitting in your life anymore. Very important. The power to say goodbye to groups of people or people who are not fitting into your life anymore and have low consciousness levels. So you cannot really function in the world anymore. You only can sit, you only can meditate, You only can share, and you can do something for the world, but mostly alone, mostly with people who have also high spiritual vibration. Very rare, very rare, very rare to find them. Also, a lot of toxic people in spiritual groups I saw in my life. A lot of unhealed people are going to unhealed teachers, and they stay in the same low consciousness fields. A lot of toxic people in spiritual groups. They think they're spiritual, but they are not. They didn't read the depth literature. They're staying in their simple reasoning, thinking patterns, and they never go into really long hours of meditation. Karma. This was devotion, right? How devout you are, how is your spiritual will to grow out the crowd and to reach enlightened stages. What is your will? Your willpower. And then you have to deal with karma, right? So the most simple thing with karma is a bitch. Yeah, very true. If you steal a candy, probably you get something back during that day or later. A shouting person, or you have nearly a car accident or whatever. So this is really true. Karma is really a bitch. If you're doing something bad, bad things will come to you. Maybe not that day, maybe not that week, but maybe months after that, or even years after that. In a certain moment, you walk to the lamp, you steal things, you break in cars, you break in houses, and maybe 10 times it's going right, 10 times it's going right, but the 11th time, and police will catch you. So for a long time, things are maybe going well, and you steal things and you make money, but at a certain moment, karma is a bitch. On a certain moment, the police is there, and you have for a long time trouble. Keep this in mind. If you have a karmatic, send negative karma into the world, it's going for a long time good, and you're hiding for the police, and you're doing very carefully your thief things, and you're paying attention to not be catched. But then the police is coming, and you have police cases for years. You cannot work in a normal job for years because you not get your permission, and the police research takes years. And then you have a court case 1, and a court case 2, and a court case 3, and you have a lifelong problems to get a house, to get a nice girlfriend, to whatever happens in your life. So the karmatic consequences can be short, but also long. You have long-term troubles where it's not easily to come out. Karma can also exist in national karma. So your country where you grow up has past wounds. So if you're a German, for example, then you bring the Holocaust history with you. So if you always come in the world and always talk with foreigners, there's still a little bit shame from your history and past. So, oh yeah, okay, the Germans, oh yeah, they were responsible for the Holocaust, right? Your country, USA, right? If you're a white USA person, You always carry the slavery, the black slavery with you. Um, so there are national karmatic things in your system, what you can be aware of, and through meditation and to spiritual grow, you can solve that national karmatic things implemented in your system to not be shameful anymore from your national past. So you grow up in a shameful conditioning, and of course, horrible what happened, but it's not related to you. It's not related to your soul. You have to understand that you are a soul who maybe drag old incarnation pains. Yes, your soul reincarnate and reincarnate on earth. So you have rest, negative, karmatic consequences in your soul. Yes, we have to solve that. But you have also national karmatic shameful conditionings like the slavery in the past or the whatever, but not stay there. It's not related to you. You're not responsible for the Holocaust as a soul, so you don't have to be shameful about that, and you don't have to defend yourself as a German. For example, if you're coming to Australia and they talk about it, right? So you have to release that shameful, shameful low consciousness vibes, vibes in your system. So you have national karma. You have also group karma. If you are, for example, a gypsy, and you're coming from that group, and they're so criminal, right? If you see the facts, gypsies are so criminal. You're coming from Moroccans, they're so high in their police records, and you come from that group, and people will look to you as if you're a criminal. It's also bringing shame to you if you're doing well in this country and you have no criminal record and you're making a business and you're earning good money, you have good karmas, you act great. It can be a negative event, right? So also there you can be ashamed for someone and not going into protective mood, but grow out of this group negative karma. To shine to the world, to meditate, to heal, to wear also some light clothes, right? Not staying in the dark clothes. I see so many wearing dark clothes, and then you say, "Oh, I am a member of that criminal gang or criminal group." So also the way you clothe, I think, can help to wear clothes what's not related to the negative karma ethnic groups, right? So we're a little bit other clothes than the clothes what criminals are wearing, right? So a little bit like clothing advice here, right? So you have national karma, what I talked about. You have ethnic karma, you have national karma. And you can send positive karmas to people, positive spiritual powers to people, but you can also send negative karma to persons. If persons are not acting well to you, I was nearly robbed for the first time in my life. I was nearly robbed. I felt bad energy and I ran away quickly. So I have not heard it, but I'm nearly robbed. But I was so angry on these guys. Though I sent negative karma to these guys, that they have a car accident or they was captured by the police ultimately. So you can also send negative karmas to people. Spirituality is not always peaceful. It's not always touching people with golden hand cuffs, right? With hand shoes. Not always lovely taking care of people. It's very realistic. Spirituality is very down to earth. It's very with your feet on the ground. So you are allowed to send negative karmas to people to push them away out of your life. Not breaking in your high energetic, building up with effort for years consciousness field. Push them away and send negative karmas in your meditation for a day or 2 or 3 days. I sent for 3 days maybe negative karma to the rubbery guys. And the same time I healed myself because it is now totally out of my system. I healed, I sent those negative karmas to those guys, and I'm free. And I swear they got their negative consequences of what they would like to do with me, to steal something from me. So negative karmas you are able to send to people if they did something wrong to you. That keeps the balance in the world. You're doing a great job with sending negative karma to people, because that equalizes the energetic levels and the person will become awake. The person who sent negative karmas to you, the rubbery guys, will be pushed and will be awake. That's not allowed anymore. You're not allowed to steal. And you have to become awake. You have to be a tick on your head. The Gandalf stick, right? The Gandalf stick from Lord of the Rings. Bam! The guy has to be awake that he is not doing this anymore. Stick on his ego. So you help him. You support the rubbery guys. Spiritualize to become awake. So you're doing a good thing with sending negative karmas to people who were not nice to you. Remember that. Negative karmas is good because you support people in their enlightenment process, plus you heal yourself. Double win. It's a double win. A lot of spiritual things are double win adventures. So negative karmas are allowed to send to people who are negative about you, who are not constructive about you, and who are trying to steal things from you. So national karmas, ethnic karmas, cultural karmas, negative karmas, sending positive karmas to people who are nice to you. Very important too to do, right? So I talked with you in this video about devotion, about spiritual enlightenment, about happiness, and about karma, more deeper into the subject karma. Thank you for watching this video, and I see you grateful by the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.